What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? Good afternoon. This is Leonard Miles Jr., aka 2 Degrees in the CDL. Back at you again with another episode. This time, unfortunately, I'm not in my semi truck. I'm in my personal vehicle. I had to put the semi truck back in the shop again. It was having DEF system issues again, so I was leaving out yesterday morning, getting ready to pick up my load in Chattanooga, and the SCR fault system light came on, and I know that has to do with the whole DEF system. So I didn't even make it out of Georgia. I went straight to the Peterbilt dealership in Jackson, Georgia. Shout out to Peterbilt. So right now it's just a waiting game. It could be in there for a few days. They even told me that they may not even be able to start working on it, until maybe tomorrow, even later on next week. So I got to go ahead and get back on this road. Luckily for me, like I said, I still get paid, the breakdown pay, and I still get my salary, which is cool. But I got into this field, in order to be a producer and making money. I want to get the experience. I like being out there. I enjoy it. It fits who I am. So I told my transportation manager what was going on yesterday. Told the warehouse manager down in Columbus what was going on. So they're working on getting me another truck. They asked me, do I mind driving a 10-speed? And, I told them, I was straight up. I said, I don't have any restrictions on my license. I prefer automatic, but if I have to get in the 10-speed, hey, I got to do what I got to do, but, I prefer, the automatic I prefer the automatic, truck. Shout out to my old school truckers that still, driving the 10 speeds, 13 speeds, 18 speeds, however many go up to. I salute y'all, man. I salute y'all. I hope y'all don't take offense to me, wanting to drive the automatic. But I did say if I was able to, if it went down the line, if I'm able to get one of those Peterbilt 389s, that'd be the only reason why I do manual transmission. So y'all don't hold that over my head, but if I have to do a manual transmission, it has to be in that Peterbilt 389. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. So I'm gonna keep y'all up to date, of course, whether I'm able to get back on the road this week and at least do my first location, like I say, run to Indiana and then just come back home. So I'll let y'all know exactly what happens between now and then. The reason for this video today, I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience going through CDL school, learning a brand new skill. And what's crazy is it's been a full year since I've been out of CDL school. Well, I got out of CDL school November 28th. That's when I took my test and everything. I tested out. But I started around this time last year. So it's crazy how time flies. And it's like, man, I can't believe, from a year ago, I was preparing to, go to South Georgia Tech down in Americus, Georgia. Shout out to South Georgia Tech CDL program. So from going to CDL school last year to where I am now, it's like, man, it's amazing. Like I said, it's definitely amazing. Like I said, nobody but God. Like I said, first and foremost, that's the foundation. Nobody but God. So I definitely, give the praise to the Most High, from guiding me from September of last year all the way to now. But learning how to drive the truck, was definitely, it definitely had its challenges. Like I said, we had a pretty big class, so I would go on Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 to 3. So it's basically, like a full-time job. On top of that, I was working a full-time job, as a, probation officer. So I guess what they don't know won't hurt them, I guess, at that time, but yeah, don't do that. Don't do what I did. But, I had to really make it work for me, luckily I had the flexibility of my job and I was able to do so. But it's basically basically going to work. Like I said, it was on Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 to 3. It was about 7 or 8 of us in the class. I can't remember the exact number, but I believe it was between that number 7 and 8. It was 2 trucks out there, so we having to swap in and out, with the trucks. Learning the maneuvers. First of all, just getting comfortable with being in the truck, with a 53-foot trailer on the back of you. So yeah, we had a day cab, and we had a sleeper cab that we had the option to drive. One was a Mac. I didn't really care for the Mac like that, but the Volvo was definitely smooth. It was definitely smooth to maneuver in. But CDL school was definitely, it had its good days and it had its bad days. I can say that. There were days that I can come in and I can knock out all the maneuvers. Straight line back, offset to the left and the right, parallel parking. I didn't do much alley dock backing up. I mean, I do it more now, at my job now, but during CDL school, didn't really do it too much. So I would have my good days where I'm able to get it very easily. Then I have my days where it was definitely frustrating days. It's like, man, like getting these maneuvers it's like, geez, like what's really going on? Like I just was able to do it the day before. Like what's going on now? So I had my days where I was definitely frustrated. But like I said before, I just continued to have that patience and then just, lean on my faith, to definitely, help me get through it. And it also helps, to have that support from, your classmates as well. We all stuck together, so it definitely felt good to, have that help from your classmates. During the process, of course, we had to do the whole, pre-trip, from the front of the truck all the way to the back of the truck. And then, your air brakes, inside the cab. When we first got that information, we got a pre-trip form where it lets you do like form A, B, or C. You can actually choose which section that you wanted to do for your in order to test out for your CDL, or you had to do the whole form, which is the truck front to back and including the air brakes. But I tell you, when the guy, I forgot what the original instructor name was when we first started, but he ended up leaving after the first week. But when he did that pre-trip from the beginning of the truck to the end of the truck, I recorded the whole thing. Even though they said they would break it down and stuff like that, I recorded the whole thing. And I tell you all, that was probably one of the most confusing things day one that I've ever seen in my life. It's like you have to get that stuff down verbatim, word for word. You cannot skip a word. You cannot say the wrong number, when it comes to, doing that pre-trip and stuff. If you did, man, that's an automatic fail. Especially for the air brakes. They'll take off points when you're doing the outside of the truck, but you really want to make sure that, you study that stuff through and through. I had the paper, that I can go over. They had videos that they issued us out, that really helped us out as well. That take you through the whole, pre-trip. So they had the videos as well. Like I said, I definitely lean on the videos a lot because I'm a visual person. So, watching the videos and then coming out there, when we had class, being able to do the pre-trip, on certain sections, like I said, that definitely helped me out. So yeah, those videos definitely helped out. So if they issue you videos, while you're in CDL school, please make sure you watch those videos. They definitely help, seeing the visual part and then you coming out there, whenever you have class and you're able to identify, those parts on the truck. And some parts are different, depending on what the truck is. But a lot of times that part, whatever it is I noticed that whatever I was watching on the video, that was the same part, when I went out there and I drove the Volvo. Because like I said, I tested out in the Volvo. So the parts from the video, when I went out and do the pre-trip, just practicing, the days we had class, all the parts were definitely there. So that definitely helped out a lot. We also, some people were able to test out, faster than others. So, we also had like some people, depending on how quick you grasped it. Like we had some people that, they tested out like around October. Like I said, I tested out November 28th, like I said, right after Thanksgiving. But we had some people that were able to test out immediately because, they got a flow for the shifting and the pre-trip. They were ready. When we out there on the road, they out there, they're doing their thing. Like I said, when we out there on the actual road, during the practice road test, they're out there doing their thing. So, some people tested out. There was 2 people who tested out earlier than everybody else. And then everybody else tested out between November and January. You also had retest as well, where a lot of people who may not have passed it, the first few times had to come back. And what got a lot of people were the air brake section. The air brake section got a lot of people. I said word. My bad. That's incorrect grammar. What got a lot of people was the air brake section. Let me make sure I get that right. So y'all excuse me for my poor grammar. I said were the air brake section. Was the air brake section. Please excuse me. The air brake section got a lot of people when it came to that in-cab stuff. Because like I said before, like you had to say everything verbatim. You cannot miss a word. You got to be on point with it. You miss anything, if the number is off, like, and you meant to say 40 psi, but you said 30 psi, that's off. It's still off. You could do everything right. You can set the truck and trailer brakes, everything fine. But because you missed that number, it is an automatic fail. So that's why I said, like, definitely study the entire pre-trip. Like I said, if you got videos, definitely watch those over and over again. But definitely make sure that you are locked in on the air brake test. Because like I said, that is an automatic fail. I can't speak for any other schools, but I know at South Georgia Tech, when you get to that air brake part, when it comes to, you building up the air pressure and you cutting it off, and you cutting it back on, so you can do your thing. If you do not do that part correctly, you will be coming back next week or however long it takes for you to get that part again, and that's not fun at all. Not to say that, like I say, it happens, like I say, but definitely study that section. Like I say, you got to be able to study that stuff at home as well, and not just in the classroom. Like I said, so what you're doing in the classroom is cool. Like I said, that's the hands-on stuff. But when you're not there, like I said, you got those videos like we had, and we had the worksheets as well, to know what to say and how to say it. Utilize that stuff. Like I said, it'll definitely help you out when it comes to test time. And like I said, I was able to get mine done on the first try. Thank goodness. Thank God for that. So I was able to get that done on the first go around, so I didn't have to worry about doing anything else. What else for CDL school I can tell you all? On your maneuvers, I would just say be patient. Be patient, be patient, be patient. Don't overthink things. It's easy to overthinking out there because you're just so in a rush, but you're not on any time limit when it comes to doing your maneuvers. And even when you're doing your pre-trip, like, you are not in any rush. They are not going to rush it. You take your time. Like, just because you may see somebody else fly through it and they get through it, that's their method. You find your method. I was able to take my time with everything, and think about, you know, certain things when it came to the pre-trip, making sure that, I got my words correctly, or even, when I'm doing the maneuvers, making sure that I'm taking my time and not overthinking things, because you're not on a time limit at all. Like, so take your time when you're doing those tasks during your pre-trip, and definitely your maneuvers, and even on the road test. Like I said, definitely take your time out there as well. They're not going to rush you. Like I said, the main thing is safety first. Be safe while you're out there. Like I said, safety. So, what else can I tell you all about CDL school? Take it seriously. For me, like I told you all before in previous videos, please go, if you haven't watched any of my old videos when I'm talking about CDL school selection, even the videos before that, please watch those videos. But take CDL school seriously. The state of Georgia covered my CDL school. Because it's in the technical college system of Georgia. It's one of those programs, one of those 18 programs that they cover. So all I had to pay was a $29 application fee for South Georgia Technical College, and I think like a $4 or $5 processing fee, and everything else was covered. So of course, for me, like, I'm taking the program seriously, even more because it's like, hey, like, they pay for me to go to school, like, for this, in order for me to, change my life. It's like, I would be a fool to come up into school and just play around with it. But you had some people that did. Like, I had a little young guy in our class, he didn't have to pay nothing out of pocket. But he would come late and leave early, or not come at all. And he ended up, leaving CDL school because he wanted to do, hot shot, which is the dually trucks with a trailer on the back. I told him more power to him. I ain't here to, damper nobody's, hopes and dreams, but I'm seeing you struggling with a 53 footer, in the day cab. Like, what do you think is going to be different with you doing hot shot? Like, that's at the end of the day, you still got to be able to back up. Like, and if you can't control, what you're doing out there, like I said, you could easily overturn some stuff, and like I said, you tear some stuff up and cost, these folks money. So, I definitely encourage them, I definitely try my best to, but, like, hey, people gonna be people, and, he made his decision. But I just knew, for me, it's like, man, the state of Georgia is paying for this, and I didn't have to go through one of those like programs that would cost me $4 or $5 grand, and I didn't have it. Or even, if I would have let a company pay for it, then, that would have even messed me up even further, because you signed a contract to drive with them from like 12, sometimes 18 months. I've seen it. I've read that fine print. Then on top of that, if you leave early, or you try to leave the company early, they flag your license until you pay whatever fee that you got to pay. So for me, this route is the only route. This is the only route that I would recommend, like, to anybody, especially when you may be able to go to school for free. Hey, in the state of Georgia, like I said before in previous videos, I don't know what each state does, but I know in the state of Georgia, you'll be able to go to school, for free at the technical colleges. Only at the technical colleges. If you qualify, majority of people do qualify. Like I said before, go back to previous videos that I shot, like I said, and I did put the link in, the previous video on my for CDL school selection, just to let you all know what the requirements are and everything else. So yeah, I just knew, for me, it's like, all right, I'm taking this seriously. Like, I'm not playing around. Even when we were in CDL school, I was able to take my endorsement for my tankers, because, like I said, hazmat is what I want to do. So I was able to take my endorsement test for my tankers while I still had my permit. Passed that. Then once I said, as soon as I got my CDL, I waited a few days before I went up there to get the license, but I went ahead and took the the test for hazmat and doubles and triples, and I passed that. Of course, they couldn't put the hazmat endorsement on my license until I got my fingerprints done with TSA. But once I got my fingerprints done and everything came back good to go, hey, I got all that stuff put on my license as well. But I treated CDL school as a business because soon down the line, I do plan on getting my own trucks, and doing my own business. So I didn't play around with it. Had some good times, had some fun classmates. We all finished, strong, and I haven't, I keep in touch with a few of my classmates, and I hope they're doing well. But I didn't play around with it. Like, I came down there and it was all business. And like I said, thank God it's paying off so far. And like I said, this is only the beginning, but it's paying off so far. So yeah, definitely going to CDL school, treating it as a business. Don't play around. Like I said, you're around some heavy machinery. You don't want to hurt yourself or others. Take it seriously. And you'll be able to, you'll be able to flourish. You'll definitely be able to flourish. That's all I got for this video. Like I said, I hope you all enjoyed it. If you're in CDL school right now, let me know what's going on and how you're adjusting to it. For truckers who, already got their CDLs and been out of school for years, let me know how it was when you all went through it and what was the process. Did you go through a technical school? Did you go through a 4-week program, or did you have a company pay for it? Let me know the pros and cons on how you all felt about it at that time. Like, share, subscribe. Please subscribe to my channel. Share this video. Leave comments. Make sure you follow me at I am Leonard Miles Jr. That's my Instagram page as well. But you all be blessed, and I love you all.